Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm talking about exactly what you see on the thumbnail. We're talking about TV shows and movies. Why do you watch what you watch, when you watch it, and what do you get out of it? So for me, most of the time, majority of the time, I am looking at some kind of religious learning show. Like just now, I just got through watching the Rapture. That being said, normally I'm watching my pastor preach, or I'm watching something to do with the Bible because I'm constantly in learn mode. So when we talked about in one of my other videos about watching shows to identify with them, I don't necessarily want to identify with what I watch as much as I want to learn from what I watch. So when you watch something, why are you watching it? What are you watching? What are you getting out of it? Is it just entertainment? Is it a pastime? Is it something just to play in the background? Because a lot of times, even though I'm watching a service or a Bible study, most of the time it is just a background noise. Most of the time it is not something that I am full on paying attention to, but then other times it is. I pay enough attention to if something sticks out, I'm zoomed in on it. I'm zoned in, I'm looking at it, I'm learning, I'm constantly taking it in. So, that being said, why do you watch what you watch? Why is it attractive to you? Why are you interested? And if you are, if it's on your TV, did you put it there on purpose? Or like sometimes I watch things on YouTube on my big front room TV, and sometimes things just roll over because I've gone to bed and left the TV on, or I'm in the kitchen, or I'm doing laundry, and things will roll over. And a lot of times, if it is just on for background noise, then I won't notice until it catches my attention by way of it said something that didn't sit right in my spirit, or if it's something that, yes, I'm doing a video, Bubba, or if it's something that will catch my attention because I agree with it. Now, if it ends up being something that doesn't sit right in my spirit, then I'll watch it for a minute to see what it is. And sometimes you can learn from things that don't sit right with you because you want to know why it doesn't sit right with you. Like, what are they talking about? What are they saying? What are they doing? Why is this not right? Why is this wrong? And a lot of times I will take a minute to, see exactly what and why. But if it is something that is like so horrifically just full of foul language, or if it's something that goes over to inappropriate scene, then I'm not going to watch it. I'm not, because I already know. Like if it automatically starts dropping f bombs or racial slurs or inappropriate adult only scenes, then it's like, okay, I know why this is wrong. I don't have to sit here and investigate this and wonder why. But sometimes you can be watching something and it doesn't sit right with you, and the why it's wrong can be so subtle that you don't even catch it. And so that's when I will sit there and try to figure out, okay, why is this not sitting right with me? Like I said, I'm sitting here right now. I said I was watching the Rapture show. Well, this is part two. So apparently, I've come across um, short reels, I guess they call it here on YouTube. So it's playing out this show, in short reels. So this is part two, apparently. So I'm still watching it. Now, here's what really, like, I will watch this, and some of what these shows hit on are spot on as far as they line up with the Bible, and then there are some slight discrepancies that you won't catch unless you know. So I'm watching it and I'm thinking, wow, they say that in these shows that people are gonna try to say the aliens stopped by, all the evil people were removed from the world, there was an alternate time. I mean, these shows let you know all the stuff that Satan is going to try to use to soothe over the people that are left behind. And the biggest thing that gets me in these shows is that every child in every nation in every corner of the globe, when the rapture happens, is taken in these movies that I watch. So here's the thing, and I didn't catch this, and I didn't know myself until my pastor's father did a complete Bible study on this, and then I was like, oh yeah. So that's why when I watched these things, it didn't make sense. I knew it didn't sit right with me. It didn't sit right in my spirit. What I didn't know was the why. And so after I watched his Bible study, I'm like, okay, they are in these movies, in these shows, what they're doing is when Christians that don't know any better watch these shows, they are implanting the message. And as slight as it is, they are implanting the message of when the rapture happens, that all children will be taken. And so when the actual rapture happens, and all the children aren't taken, they're going to go, oh no, you see, this wasn't the rapture. The rapture, all the children would be gone because all the children were innocent and blah, blah, and yada, yada. In fact, the Bible doesn't say that. The Bible, nowhere in it does it say during the rapture that all children will go because they're innocent. The Bible does not say that. As a matter of fact, many of times, children in the natural, they were destroyed because their parents. And here's the thing, God doesn't choose that. If you're righteous, then you make your children righteous until they are old enough to be accountable for their own sin. But if you are unrighteous, then your children are automatically born into that sin and they are not covered by righteousness. So, thus, you being left behind, your children will be left behind. And Satan's going to use that. Why do you think the Bible says you will not be able to buy, sell, trade, or anything without the mark of the beast? Because here's the thing, you will hurry up and take the mark so that you can feed your children. You will not want to watch your children go hungry. So that's going to be something that Satan will use as a tool to play on. Satan is going to have you by the literal children. I would say by the wolves, but he's going to have you by the children. And if you don't, even if your children are grown, like my children are grown, and thank God they're saved, and I'm saved, so I'm not worried about it. But I can, I can't even imagine that if a day went by where my kids didn't eat. Now, don't get me wrong. As we sit here today, I don't cook food every day. I got up yesterday, and I made waffles and scrambled eggs and the whole nine for my family. Today, I don't feel like it, so it's every man for themselves. But I spent Sunday cooking, and then Monday I cooked. So Tuesday, I kind of, there's leftovers in the fridge, help yourself type of thing. But in those days to come, we're not going to have that. At least that's my belief. So when I'm watching TV or when I'm watching movies, That's what I'm doing. I'm in a learning mode. So here's the thing, even when I'm watching like political stuff, or if I'm watching, I like to watch different things about. I don't watch the news because the news is so. It's they run their own agenda, and I've heard people say, "Well, watch this brand because they tell the truth." No, you've got a brand that will run the Republican views and agenda, and you've got a brand that will run the Democratic views and agenda. And I don't think any of them actually ever come together on truth anymore. So what I do is I will sit back and wait, and I will watch, seriously, I will watch content creators on YouTube that will, they'll espouse what's going on in the news, and they will give you their honest opinion. And that's how I get my news, because this is how I know what's going on with food stamps. This is how I know what's going on with Section 8. This is how I know what's going, like, when I watched, now I did actually watch because everybody ran the same thing live, but I even watched that through YouTube, which was the State of the Union. Um, and now I actually know and understand that the Democratic Party is crashing, but that's a whole nother story. But anyway, so I literally don't watch TV 90% of the time just for um, just for entertainment. Now, 80% of the time, it is background noise, but at the same time, it's constant information that's going into the subconscious. You have to be careful what you're putting into the subconscious. And this is what I tell you a lot of times when I have stuff playing in the background, I won't sit up and go, at the TV until it catches that something they just said or did didn't sit right, or something they did, like, wow, that's pretty cool, because I'm not steadily paying attention, but my subconscious is paying enough attention that it just reached out and caught that particular piece. So you're getting enough information fed to you through what you listen to, what you hear, what you watch, what you talk about. So if in the background you have chaos and crazy and all these things of the world playing, then that's what you mimic in your day to day life. I challenge you to change for 3 days what you're watching, and watch how your attitude will change. Watch how your thinking and your focus will change. So I challenge you to just observe, even if you don't pay attention, even if you get bored with it, even if you don't interact with what you change and what you do. I challenge you to change. If you're watching stuff like, and don't get me wrong, because I like to watch murder mysteries and Deadly Women, and what is it, CSI and NCIC, or I don't know all the initials, but I used to watch Special Victims Unit and things of that nature, and I notice if I watch that on a consistent basis, then my attitude adjusts to what I'm watching, what I'm hearing in the background, what I'm constantly doing. But if I change what I'm doing, then my attitude changes. And it's true. Your environment has a lot to do with how you think, how you act, what you eat, how you sleep, how you rest. Because if you go to sleep with learning and well being on your mind, you sleep well. If you go to bed with lack and chaos and crazy on your mind, then you toss and turn most of the night. So I challenge you that if that's what you're watching, to change for 3 days what you're watching. Now, I won't tell you specifically what to watch because that's something you have to figure out. But as for me, I literally go to bed with my pastor preaching in the background, playing in the background. I don't blast it. I don't need it screaming at me as I'm sleeping. I don't need it loud enough to keep me from sleeping or to wake me up. It's just a soothing thing that I play in the background so that I can, uh, my mind is at ease because I'm not being fed that chaos, that sickness, that uncertainty, the just of the world. I'm not being fed. My body's not being fed that. My mind's not being fed that. And when I'm not being fed that, then my attitude allows my mind to rest. My mind allows my body to rest. And so it's all, you hear people say, oh, it's mind over matter. Well, and yeah, a lot of times it's also your mind over your attitude. But what you let in by what you watch and by what you do has a lot to do with how you think and feel. And then if if that's what you're doing, then if that's what you're taking in, then it's a constant. It's just a constant chaos on not just your body but your mind as well. Ruppy doos, baby, what y'all doing? Sorry guys, my puppers are back there waking up people. Huh. So they're the sweetest two dogs in the entire world. He's coming up for a visit. I don't know if y'all can see him. Let's see. There he is. All right, so this is my Ruppy Doos. Look at that face. What? Show your face. Okay, and this is another thing that keeps me happy and full of joy. But that's not a TV show. It's better than. But anyway, so I'm going to wrap this up with a challenge. And the challenge is going to be to change what you listen to and what you watch uh, throughout the day, and then leave something inspirational, peaceful, and and just calming on in the background as you go to bed at night, and see if you don't rest better, and see if you don't wake up feeling better. And so for 3 days, just for 3 days, if you can't do it, then that speaks to a whole nother issue of maybe you're addicted to chaos, maybe you're addicted to the overstimulus, the over dramatic, the overall chaos of the world. So anyway, I love you guys with the love of the Lord. Give it a thumbs up, give it a thumbs down, give it a thumb sideways. I don't know. Do you? I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one.